Greetings, this is Savine. I am back and ready to begin our new screencast series. And we're going to go back to the basics and do the very simplest thing we possibly can with AX2009 and SSRS. And we're just going to create the simplest possible report. Okay, so a couple of things you should know. First of all, I'm running Microsoft Dynamics AX2009 SP1. I have Visual Studio 2008 installed, and I've installed our Visual Studio tools into Visual Studio 2008. And just so everyone knows, AX2009's Visual Studio tools only work with Visual Studio 2008. They don't work with VS 2010. And I'm running with SQL 2008 R2. Okay, and obviously the same version of SSRS is being used. And I'm going to launch Visual Studio. And let me close this toolbox here. And I'll go to File. File, New, Project. And what do you see here under Visual C# is this node called Dynamics. That's proof that the Visual Studio integration tools that came with our product have been installed. And then you'll see under Templates, Dynamics AX Reporting Project. And look under Name, you'll see the default name is Dynamics AX Reports Library. So that's the first thing you should realize. Every project here is what we would call a reports library. Okay? And there's some location it's picked already. I'm going to change the name of the library to Sample Reports. And I'm going to build on this library. And later on, actually, I'm going to check it in the Codeplex so you can see what's in it. But for my screencast series, we'll start with this. Okay? And I will leave it like that, and later on I'll add it to source control, but I won't do that right now. Okay, so a library's been created. Let's take a look in Solution Explorer. There's been this solution that's been created. This project is the library. You'll see this project contains this report1.moxel. Later on, I'll explain to you what that means. And this is actually a report model. When you see that report1.moxel, it's a report model. And that's an AX report model. I know SSRS has their own words for report models, but this is something specific to AX. And you can see there's a report. It's called report1, of course. And I'm actually going to rename this a bit later, but let's just build the report right now. And you need to look at these nodes here. They're datasets, parameters, designs, images, and data methods. Our job will basically be create something in datasets and create a design and bind the two. Dataset is just a tabular set of data we're going to get from AX. In this specific example, I'm going to use an AX query. And a design is a layout. Okay? It's a page, essentially. And we're going to put in that design, we'll map that data set to a table or something, I'm going to generate a report. It's not going to look like a very beautiful report, but that's not the point of this screencast. We're just going to create it. So let's create our first data set. I'll just right-click, Add, Data Set, and I'll just call this Cust for a reason that will become obvious in a moment. And under Data Source, this is set to Dynamics AX, and I'm just going to leave it like that. Under data source type, you'll see two options. The default is query. I will just leave it there. And you'll see the default layout. It says table. Has some other things. I'm going to leave it alone. Just leave it as table. And then you see query. Okay? And this will always say query no matter what I pick here. But I'll click on the ellipsis, and then this is called the query picker. And in a few moments, you'll see all the queries in AX come into this left area. I'm going to pick something called, I think it's Cust Table, which is the name of the query. I'm not picking a table directly. Let's give it a minute. There we go. And I'll just scroll. Oops, I selected one accidentally, but it doesn't matter. I'll scroll. Where is it? Cust Table SRS. And this is a very simple query. It just returns 3 fields. I'll just click on all, and it'll automatically get everything. I know that it doesn't select these, but just by having all, you'll get all the fields. Okay, and what do you see? Those 3 fields show up here. right? And there are actually properties here for the fields. I'm going to ignore them. And I'm going to create a design. The fastest way to create a design in Dynamics AX in Visual Studio is just to drag a data set into the Designs node, and a design will get created for you. It's called an auto design for a reason I will reveal later. And the design's created. We can actually render this report by right-clicking and saying Preview. And you'll see there's some design warnings. Don't worry about it. And you'll see there's going to be this parameter called cust group. And you're probably wondering, why did that appear? I can talk about that later. If I try to preview the report, you'll see it's actually telling me something here. It says the cust underscore cust group parameter is missing a value. Let's go ahead and just assume that I can put in star there. And I'll click on report. And there you go. You have a rather ugly report, a very simple one, with the title cust group is the name of the report. And you can sort of see the headings here. Customer count, name, customer group, and the values are there. And you can navigate to the first page and the second page. If I want, I can see the print preview layout, and if I want, I can export it to Excel or a PDF file here. Okay, so that in just about 6.5 minutes was the quick, simple way to create a report. Future screencasts, we're going to hit on the topics I skipped over. Okay, see you then.